To provide some context, me and my friends are urban explorers. We go to abandoned locations in hopes to find something crazy. Sadly, the craziest things that we have found was a working mall pony. Devin and Lex often accompany me. Devin has a successful YouTube channel with around 500 followers, and the videos were of our adventures. One day while Lex was scrolling through some Urbex chat servers, she found a location. This is how we often got our spots, and usually they were pretty cool. Nothing could have prepared me for this. Lex said it was an old theme park from the 1940s. It was themed as Olympus. I was surprised given the fact that it was built in '45 and still standing. Apparently, the park closed down in 1949 because a kid fell off of the Ferris wheel. The drive was about 2.5 hours long. Luckily, since I was a dirt poor college kid, Devin drove us. Devin came from a more well-off family, and his parents were both heirs. Don't get me wrong, Devin was loaded, but he wasn't a snob. He was quite generous, honestly. Anyways, when we arrived, we were disappointed. The place was more rust than a sight. Still, we checked it out. If I could go back in time, I would have gotten right back into that car. But I didn't. Lex, being the one on the computer, was the most knowledgeable about the place, even more so because of her degree in religion. She begged me to go because she was interested in the Greeks and, at the time, learning Greek. We walked around for a while, not seeing much, but some overgrown rides and restaurants that were literally falling apart. And then we decided to split up. Before we did, I took Devin's keys because I had a bag. Lex went towards the famed Ferris wheel, which they had fittingly named Mount Olympus. Devin went inside an old restaurant, and I went towards the rest of the rides to see if anything worked. I was always the one testing to see if things were working, since I was getting my degree in engineering, and I also always just carried a tool bag. I went over to a ride called Flight of Hermes. It was your typical up-and-down spinning kiddie ride. Its cups were shaped as Hermes' winged feet. I pressed the lever, and the machine whirred about, creaking and rattling. I was very surprised. This thing was almost 50 years old, to give you a reference to the time, but as I was about to stop it, I heard Lex's blood-curdling screech. I ran towards the Ferris wheel to see her shocked. I looked down. I was shocked, but not bloody murder scream shocked. It was a pool of dried blood, presumably where the kid had landed. I then remembered Lex's biggest fear was blood. I calmed her down, not voicing my concerns as to how it was still here, given that it had most likely rained here at some point. And I started to get bad vibes. Something was off about this place. And then I remembered the ride was still on. I told Devin and Lex to follow me. I showed them the ride, and as they looked in amusement, the ride started to get really fast. Not like normal fast, more like 100 miles per hour fast. A thunderbolt struck and it stopped. "What just happened?" Devin exclaimed. We decided since it was about to rain, we should head out and come back again. We were about to hit the parking lot when we heard an enthusiastic, "Hi there!" It sounded like some cartoon character. I turned around to see a man looking to be in his mid-20s, early 30s. He had a red and white toga on. Who are you?" Lex said. "I'm Tommy Theus," he shouted to us like we were little kids. "Do you work here?" I chimed. "Duh, silly," he said. "Isn't this place abandoned?" Devin asked. "Well, kinda. I'm the only one here," he said sorrowfully. "Just follow me." Of course, we followed behind, very confused. He, or should I say, it, led us to a little stand that I swear we had walked past. It was brightly lit with a gold and black color scheme. It wasn't easy to miss. "We're selling nectar," it piped. "Nectar?" I said. "Yes, the drink of the gods. Yes, the drink of the gods," it giggled. I saw Lex's eyes light up, knowing she loved this topic. "We have free samples," it said. "You, try some." It pointed to Devin. Weirdly, its voice got much deeper, so much I flinched. It's like it wasn't asking Devin, it was demanding him. Uh, okay. Devin was the shy type. He didn't like being pulled into things or being in big groups, and that's why he enjoyed Urbex so much. I watched as Devin pulled the paper cup towards his lips. It was filled with a liquid that could be mistaken for honey, and I assumed it was just honey. Sadly, it was not. It was indeed the real nectar. The cup touched his lips as he sipped. He looked pleased, and then pained. He let out the most horrendous wail, like a beast was clawing out of him. He rose above the ground like he was possessed. He was screeching, wriggling, clawing. As he let out a louder yell, he began to turn yellow, no, gold. He looked like pure metal, and then he dissipated like paper on fire. He was dead. His blood had turned to ichor. I screamed. Me and Lex ran, and the thing went from a smiling man to a black, shadowy creature. It chased us down, floating. It was so fast, and then it grabbed onto Lex. She was suspended mid-air. She was choking. I then remembered my tools. I grabbed my favorite hammer, which Lex put some Hellenistic spell onto, a luck spell. I threw with all of my might, hitting the thing square in the head. It yelped, suffering a similar fate to Devin, dissolving. Lex took a breath, realizing she was alive. She hugged me, and the ground opened up, swallowing her, like a well. I had no time to grieve. I ran, crying to the car, remembering I still had the keys. I drove so fast, weeping the whole way. I still haven't recovered because nobody believes me. The place is gone. It's not on any map, forum, or chat room. Hello everyone, I'm Giggles, and thank you so much for listening to my narration. A quick shout out to all my patrons: Melissa Perez, Geek Sanctuary, Lawrence Wallen, Andreas Anderson London, Eric Cifuentes, Krzysztof Kozak Slazak, Jesse Hartley, and Icy Narrates. If you want to become a patron today, you can check out the link in my description below. And as always, thank you so much for your support. I'll see you in the next video.